Well, so hi guys. Taking time out from the farm to do a video. Uh, this is planting season, spring planting season. We've got lots of tomatoes and peppers and eggplants and sweet potatoes to put in. And my old back hurts a little bit, so I'm taking a little bit of time off to do a couple videos. Uh, this video was actually requested by a patient. In an earlier video, I talked about the sudden acceleration of prostate cancer in patients of mine who've taken colostrum supplementation. And one of those patients said, I need to be more forceful uh, and irate and talk about just how grave and severe this situation is. And also how people come to make the wrong decisions when presented with supplement literature. Um, so, by way of background, colostrum has always been, colostrum is the first production from the breast of an animal after birth of the infant. And it's different than milk and has antibodies and so on, and it's designed to help the fetal GI tract turn on and be able to handle the load of taking food, because of course in the uterus the GI tract isn't working. Um, it also plays a key role in uh, maturation of the infant's immune system. Um, in utero, there really is no transfer of the maternal immune repertoire to the fetus, and this is the first time when the mother can pass on to the fetus the immunities it has had to develop in the neighborhood. Um, and so the mothers will have been exposed to many of the infections that are endemic in an area, and equips the infant immune system to handle likely immediate challenges. There are also a group of what, for want of a better term, I would call growth factors that stimulate the growth of the cells that line the GI tract and make them more mature. Um, and so in the alternative supplement industry, there's for a long time been sort of the general feeling that this might restore youthful parts of your biology, that it might take your aging immune system and make it more like a young animal or young human's immune system. And since it has many growth factors that are very active in young life and that disappear with age, that it might reverse miscellaneous aspects of aging. So this has been going on for as long as I've been in medicine, and I'm older than dirt. Evidence is not in humans is not very impressive, but over the last year or so, it has become a hot topic. If you go to Google or Bing or one of the search engines and put in colostrum and health, or colostrum supplementation, or colostrum and immune function, you'll see a lot of websites come up. And you go to the websites and boy, this stuff sounds like the best thing since sliced bread. So that's why all of a sudden I'm confronting this. So the patient of interest is this. This is his PSA graph, and as you see, the PSA was going up slowly, doubling about every 9 to 10 months. And then all of a sudden he started taking colostrum, and look what happened to the PSA. Now it's doubling every month, going up like a rocket ship, taking off. In both patients, this change appeared to be permanent. And when they stopped the colostrum, the cancer continued to go at great speed. as though a brief exposure to colostrum was enough to activate the cancer in a way that continued after the colostrum was removed. When I think of supplements, I put them in, gosh, I know they're possibly helpful, I know they're harmful, and in the middle, I don't know. And this is the most harmful reaction I've ever seen in a prostate cancer patient. The earlier patient on this has had to go on a very aggressive hormonal therapy to control an explosion of his disease. And this patient's probably also going to need to go on aggressive hormonal therapy with PSA doubling time of a month. The fastest prostate cancer can grow is a doubling time of 2 weeks. And so this is growing almost as fast as it's possible for prostate cancer to grow. And unless we gain control, it will be highly lethal. Fortunately, we have drugs to control it, but this guy was not going to have to be on hormonal therapy for a long time. And now all of a sudden, he has to be on hormonal therapy really quickly. So why might colostrum be a problem? Well, one of the things that the supplement vendors, marketers, champions say about colostrum is it has growth factors. Well, the very same growth factors they're touting in colostrum as being part of why it's beneficial is a rocket fuel cocktail for prostate cancer. Insulin-like growth factor number 1, IGF-1, is rich concentration in colostrum. And IGF-1 plays a major role in the evolution of prostate cancer. Activation, when IGF-1 binds to the cancer cell, it triggers a series of changes that make it easier for the cancer to survive hormonal therapy and even develop resistance to hormonal therapy. In fact, one of the hottest areas of research are drugs that block the pathway that IGF-1 triggers as a means of treating hormone-resistant disease. One very interesting experiment took human prostate cancer cells in tissue culture and added Casodex, bicalutamide, the generic, and selected for resistance in the test tube to Casodex. And if you blocked the IGF-1 pathway at the same time you started Casodex, hormone resistance could not develop in this model system. Well, this is going just the opposite. This is taking the pathway that we're concerned about, augmenting hormone resistance, and putting the pedal to the metal on that. Another compound in this is epidermal growth factor. And epidermal growth factor plays a key role in activating the testosterone receptor in the absence of testosterone. And there are a subset of men with prostate cancer where epidermal growth factor signaling is active. If this happens at the same time the IGF-1 pathway is augmented, the cancer becomes aggressive, hormone resistant, and difficult to control. With KRAS, we do molecular profiles, and we particularly find epidermal growth factor signaling pathway activated in a high proportion of men with cancer, prostate cancer metastatic to liver. Another set of proteins in colostrum is transforming growth factor alpha and beta 1 and beta 2. And in the recent video I did on the path to durable complete remission, the epithelial to mesenchymal transition is a key change that prostate cancer undergoes as it leaves the prostate gland and spreads widely throughout the body. And here you're taking a cocktail that is capable of stimulating that epithelial to mesenchymal transition. So on the face of it, if you knew and understood about prostate cancer biology and looked at the ingredients in the colostrum, you would never remotely consider using it. But as I read through the websites, what is striking as you read these is the near complete absence of anything that would be regarded as real legitimate evidence of benefit. You know, I'm not trained primarily as a medical oncologist. That came later, and my major focus has been pharmacology, which is the science of drug discovery, development, and use. And drugs that go through a process of having their activity documented in the laboratory. And then we have phase 1 trial, where you give the dose and increase it until you see side effects, so you can find out the maximum safe dose. Then you do a phase 2 trial. A group of patients are all treated with what you think is the highest safe dose, and you see if there's activity. And then finally, you do a randomized controlled trial. And when we discuss randomized controlled trials, the major focus on it is, does the drug work? What is its benefit in terms of survival or pain control? It's actually only in the phase 3 trial, where the drug is compared to placebo, that you really understand what the risks are with the drug. I mean, if you took a pill and came back to your doctor and your hair was blue, how do we know it's not the drug that did it? Or whether you admired your grandmother's blue hair and decided to mimic her by dyeing your hair blue. That is, the link between things that are associated with the drug, what are random associations, and what's really caused by the drug. You only know that when you compare it to placebo. Well, the people who are writing these websites seem to be absolutely clueless about anything that would constitute evidence. And they get, one of the classic errors in human decision making is, if it sounds like a good story, gosh, it's probably true. Well, they told such a good story. The anecdotal cases on the website were so impressive. It's rare for an anecdote on a web page like that to survive anything like legitimate scrutiny. I remember years ago a sketchy product that was said to affect brain tumors and prostate cancer. And Steve Strum, who retired a few years ago, but very knowledgeable about prostate cancer, got the agreement to go down from the people doing this to go down and review their cases. And one of the more dramatic responses is the supplement was started, but estrogen was started too. And the people with the drug said, well, we know estrogen doesn't work. So it's kind of totally illogical, magical thinking that pervades much of the alternative medical literature, having nothing to do with reality. So not only shouldn't you take colostrum, but really be skeptical about the quality of information on the internet advocating various alternative medical practices. Be skeptical and ask, does this make sense? Is the science behind this logical or simple magical thinking? And then, is there a clinical trial that might demonstrate effectiveness? And as you see from colostrum, is it safe? My concern is that the growth factors that are a problem for prostate cancer would be also a huge problem for many other cancers. Colon cancer, breast cancer, IGF-1 and epidermal growth factor plays a huge role in breast cancer. Yet these web pages are recommending colostrum to cancer patients. And gosh, with the absence of any safety data, I think that's just absolutely insane. So I hope my patient is satisfied that I got forceful enough on this. Take care.